In the dawn of April 29, 1945, Hitler, who at the time was leader and chancellor of the Reich, married his mistress, Eva Braun, in his bunker, for he was aware that what was going to happen next would not allow him to live any longer. The thing that began from Hitler's ambitions was now ending with his life and his love beside him. At the time, Hitler also dictated his last will and political testament, which is for us one of the important documents in history. The reason I am making this video is not to justify the actions that Hitler did, as the killing of innocent lives on such a large scale can never ever be claimed justifiable. Neither can the ways through which such things came to us ever be appreciated. But the interesting point, and one thing that is to be praised, was his dedication to his people, even in his final hours. He never made any comment of doing anything wrong, but mentioned that what he did was for his people and nation's benefit. And lastly, in his political testament, he mentioned his final idea of Jews as the universal poisoners. Another interesting point is not the accusations that he made against the Jews, as his previous writings also suggest the same themes, but his warning to the world that he thought was something essential for him to tell, that the Jewish people were, in his view, a plight for all. Hitler mentions that he never wanted war, and it was the people who were mainly the big money lending agencies that started it for their own benefit, and most of the owners of these institutions were Jews. The last line of his testament straightforwardly mentions, as Hitler says, "Above all, I charge the leadership of the nation and their followers with the strict observance of the racial laws and with merciless resistance against the universal poisoners of all peoples, international Jewry." Now, there are some historians who also argue about the reliability of his last testament and will, whether it was altered or not. Some also say that things got added to it, but here I am taking the words that came down to us from sources that provided these documents. The last testament also mentions his strong nationalist ideology that his earlier friend Hugh Isaac also mentions in his memoirs. Hitler further mentions, as he says in his testament addressing the Germans who were with him. So he writes, "It goes without saying that I thank them all from the bottom of my heart, and that it is also my desire that in spite of everything they should not give up the struggle, but continue fighting wherever they may be, faithful to their great Koschwitz, against the enemies of the fatherland. From the sacrifices of our soldiers and from my own comradeship with them, there will come, in one way or another, into German history the seed of a brilliant renaissance of the National Socialist movement, and thus the realization of a true national community." The next day, Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun bit into thin glass vessels of cyanide. As he did so, Hitler also shot himself and died. Now, the question for us is why Hitler openly stated that he never wanted war, and that whatever the people were facing at the time was all because of the Jews and those who worked for them to make money in dishonest ways. It is documented that some people during Hitler's time killed many Jews just to take revenge on them for the high interest money lending they had experienced when they were young. It is also true that the voices against the Jews in Germany had long been established in the land. Now, coming back to Hitler's political testament and its relevance to us, though there are many things he misrepresented in what he says, one thing that we still observe today, and which is something true, is that there are people and countries who make large profits from war. Yet they are not explicitly Jews, as Hitler claimed, because evil is not tied to any religion or race. But yes, there are politicians who clearly see benefit in trading and selling war equipments. And obviously, if there is no war, then how will they sell new war equipments? This is the question, and to answer it, it becomes necessary to have war. Hitler's own understanding of the Jews being behind all these wars was based on his observation that the owners of big money lending firms were mostly Jews. One thing we can take from Hitler's last words is that it is really true there are people who want war in order to earn money. By selling war equipment, they claim they are doing it for the safety of the countries they are supplying, but in reality, they profit from it. And then to regulate this whole business model, it becomes necessary to use those weapons, and the ones who die are the innocent, the people, and the children. The reason I try to discuss Hitler's last testament here is not to say that his ideas against any group or nation were valid. Rather, it is to understand that there could be some truths related to how wars begin, what causes them, and who benefits from them. The things he did to people are right in front of us, and surely we do not need any such ideology. But what is necessary for us is to find meaning in what has been written and said, and to consider what relevance it holds in our present political conditions. Though it seems we do not learn anything from history, the Jews preserved their history of Holocaust, Black Americans preserved their history of torture. These preservations and us learning them were meant to teach us that such things can lead to devastating consequences. And that was the reason for learning these things. But when we look at the present world and our politicians, it seems they have not learned anything from what happened before. It appears that history does not teach us anything, or perhaps we simply do not want to learn from it. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.